Are you the same Amanda Nicole Lawson who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 8173 for the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle on November 14th, 2019 for a period of 4 years and extended for a total of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 5 in Dirk County, Texas. The defendant Amanda Nicole Lawson, who did in there fail to report the supervision officer as directed for the month of October 2022.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated condition.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Understand that, but I'm in hopes that you'll hear me out.
No, my question is, did you understand that? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5? I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, there's not, Your Honor.
State, what are you requesting?
Revocation, Your Honor.
Defense.
Look, I question that should be placed back on probation, and my client would like to testify to give her reasons to support.
All right, if you can raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Your name is Amanda Lawson.
All right, and what would you like to say?
Miss Boyd, because you gave me a second chance 2 years ago, I went to Grace House and I changed my life. I've been sober for 2 years. I was released from Grace House because I had a surgery and I had to go home and take care of my family. I've been doing nothing but going to work and going home. I was scared. I understand that being on the run for 2 years is bad, but I was scared that I was about to lose everything that I just worked really hard for. Because of you, I changed my life, and I'm just hoping that you believe in me one more time.
All right, this is your second motion to revoke. And what I do know is that each time when persons appear before me, I ask them if there's anything that the court can do. Do they need anything so they can be successful? And I know that I tell people, if there's an issue, let your probation officer know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court. So you've been here before. You were placed on probation in 2019. And then you came back in 2021 and you pled true to a violation of condition number 1, which is a new offense. And then the court altered and amended your conditions and continued you. And then now we're here and nobody has seen you since 2022.
I'm scared. I was at home. I was taking care of my family.
Why don't you pick up the phone and call probation?
I was scared. I can't have no excuse for that, Miss Boyd.
Okay.
I was scared to lose everything I've just worked so hard for. My grandma is 75 and my grandpa is 95, and I have my kids back in my life. I have a relationship with them now. I've been sober since Grace House. I haven't worked so hard for something. It would just destroy me to lose it again and start over.
All right. So these are choices you made.
Yes, I understand that.
You made the choice not to report.
I understand that. I'm just hoping you'll believe in me one last time.
All right. Any questions?
She said all.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The court is going to grant the motion. The court is finding you guilty. Does anyone want to speak with regards to punishment? State?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's requesting 16 months state jail.
Yeah, we're requesting the minimum. He has 166 days in. We also have some credit for the time she served and.
All right. So what I can tell you, Ms. Lawson, the state is requesting 16 months.
Okay.
I had internalized everything you said. And actually, what the court was going to do was sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility. But the state is requesting 16 months. So I'm going to sentence you to 16 months in the state jail facility. Off the record. Here's the thing. You were given chances. And in this court, I don't know how other courts do it, but in this court, it is better to ask for permission than forgiveness. All you had to do was pick up the phone and call your probation officer and say, this is what's going on in my life. And if they did not address it, you know what you could have done? You could have come back to this court, come back to me, and I would have figured out what was going on. But for you to behave as though you were not on probation, that's a problem. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. 6-4, State of Texas versus Julexis Brown. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach Dunn for the state.
Defense?
Valerie Hetland for Alexis Brown.
And are you Ms. Brown?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery?
Yes,
And did you review it with your client?
we did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Brown, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you
ma'am.
understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment?
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor, we are.
Ms. Brown, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with
Yes,
your
ma'am.
attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes,
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of abandoning a child with intent to return as a state jail felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yeah.
Ms. Brown, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Ms. Brown, did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, state recommends deferred adjudication and you're to follow any and all CPS directives. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so with regards to following any and all CPS directives, as someone who's practiced on the CPS side, I think that may be overly broad and it may potentially interfere with the representation that her attorney has. So maybe if y'all just said CPS compliance,
Absolutely, Your Honor. We're happy to make that notation.
And just for the record too, the CPS case was only investigation. It didn't go to 252. It didn't go to family base and it was closed.
okay.
So it shouldn't be a problem.
And I'm just asking if they put CPS compliance, because if you have a CPS attorney or they become involved in this case on that side, they may want you to do specific things or have objections to specific things. You're welcome.
Judge, I had to move the stanchion up, so I'm not as thin as I used to be.
All right, and then so there's to be CPS compliance if applicable. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. Did you understand that's a recommendation from the state and the court does not have to follow that recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states 1 and attachments.
No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Did you review the document entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation
Yes, ma'am.
of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just, Judge, she regrets, she understands what she did was wrong. There's no minimizing, what happened. She was going to the store, to get diapers. It was late at night, right before they were going to close. There's some disputes among the times, in the report on how long she was gone. She did have a nanny cam there, not to excuse the risk that she put her baby in, but her daughter was asleep. She was watching her on the nanny cam, came back. And there's also some custody child support issues. So the husband or the her daughter's father, had been there at the house waiting for her to leave, and then he had called the police, Judge. So she's not here to make any excuse for what happened, and definitely knows better.
How old was your child when you left?
She was 3.
Okay, so you left a 3-year-old by themselves at night. And the guy that you're living with, what is his relationship to you?
He's basically just my boyfriend right now.
He's your boyfriend.
Fiance, but
So your fiance boyfriend, according to the stipulations, you left to go get diapers?
she was on her last diaper.
No, I need to say yes or no.
Yes.
All right, so you go to get diapers and your boyfriend, Adam Hernandez, does he love you?
Yes, ma'am.
Does he love your child?
Yes.
Then why does it take 2 people to go get diapers and leave a 3-year-old unattended?
There's no.
There is, I mean,
Yeah.
she does have.
No, tell me why. I want her to tell me.
Explain the.
Like why? Why would 2 adults who claim to love a 3-year-old leave a 3-year-old by themselves while they went to the grocery store or wherever store they went to get diapers? Why does it take 2 adults to go do that?
If I go by myself, I get harassed wherever I go. I know it's no excuse, but the HB that I was living at nearby, there was a guy that.
So why
works
couldn't he
there.
go?
Because we just didn't have enough money. The coupon expired after that night.
So I
and-
don't understand. You don't have enough money
Yes, ma'am.
and the coupon was going to expire.
Yes.
So there are
that's it.
2 adults. Why does it take 2 adults to go pick up an item from a store? I don't understand.
So, if he would have gone, he would have not used the coupon. We wouldn't have had enough money. I mean.
Well, so let me just tell you the choices that you're making. You had a choice. Leave my 3-year-old by herself. Maybe the apartment's complex is going to catch a fire. Maybe somebody's just walking down the street and they notice a 3-year-old and they're like, oh, this would be a great 3-year-old to come take. So that's what you were looking at. And then on the other hand, I can save money by using a coupon. And you chose a coupon. And how much money did you get off for that coupon?
It was like $10 off.
All right, so you had a choice and you chose to save $10 over potentially something horrible happening to your child. That's basically what you did.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I still don't understand. And CPS, they do their own thing sometime. I still don't understand why this wasn't a legal case. And two, still don't understand why you have two adults in a household and they decide it takes two people to go pick up diapers and you all are leaving a 3-year-old by themselves. And not only are y'all leaving them by themselves, in the police report, it says the door was locked and it's a reverse lock. So 3-year-old is locked in a room and the only persons who can open that door are the two adults.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to unpack that suitcase in a little bit, but I'm still back to the point. I don't know if she understands the danger. And I don't know if the CPS worker stressed the danger that her 3-year-old was in by two grown adults acting as though one person can't go to the grocery store by themselves. Are you even internalizing how that sounds?
Yes, ma'am. I know it.
You all can leave a 3-year-old by themselves, but you all adults can't go to a grocery store by yourself. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, why is it that there are reverse locks in that place?
When we moved in, the locks were on the other side. And when she was younger, she was able to touch it when she was growing up. And one time she locked herself in there, so we were scared. My fiance was able to open it. And from there on out, we decided to switch it around because we didn't want her locking herself in her room. She was getting curious. She was walking and talking and
That's what 3-year-olds do. They walk and they talk.
yes, ma'am.
So when that officer came to that location, front door is locked and that bedroom door is locked. Yeah, and it was locked. So the 3-year-old can't get out. So let's say there's a fire that happened. Guess what? Number one, nobody's going to know the 3-year-old is there. Maybe the 3-year-old stays asleep. And the 3-year-old, if they have the wherewithal to try to get out of their room because there's a fire, they can't get out because you and your fiance have reversed the locks.
It was for her safety, Your Honor.
No, that's not for her safety. Let me ask you, do you all have reverse locks on your doors?
No, ma'am.
But it would be for your safety.
I just didn't want her locking herself in her room anymore. That's what scared me.
All right, and let's move on to your boyfriend, Adam Hernandez. How well do you know him?
Very well, ma'am.
What does that mean? How long have you known him?
We've been together for 3 years.
For 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
And how old is your daughter? 3.
She's 4 now.
All right, but she was 3 then?
Yes, ma'am.
So that means that you went from one relationship to the other. If your daughter is 3 years old and he's not is he the biological father of the 3-year-old?
He's the one that stepped out.
All right, so you went from one relationship, you have a 3-year-old, and then you're in a relationship, lickety split, with some other guy. And this is a 3-year-old daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And Adam Hernandez, did you do a background check?
No,
All right. Do you know if he has any criminal history?
he doesn't.
How do you know?
I mean, just because he's told me everything he's done in his past, everything that he's gone to court for, so nothing on his record.
Oh, gone to court for what?
Or he's
Been
been
charged
charged
with
with
this, Judge.
All right. And what else? So you're just taking him at his word.
He's from.
And have you talked to any of the previous girlfriends, or if he's been married before, have you talked to them to find out why the relationship broke down?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you talked to his previous girlfriends.
His crazy ex-girlfriend, yes, ma'am. She was harassing
Crazy
me.
ex-girlfriend. See, you know what? I will tell you from what I've noticed in this world, there's always the crazy ex-girlfriend, the crazy ex-boyfriend. And you don't become the crazy ex-girlfriend or the crazy ex-boyfriend until the relationship ends. Then they go to the next person, and guess what? That person says, oh, she's the crazy ex-girlfriend. Let me just tell you, I don't think you've done your research to have this person in your life and trusting him with your daughter. I can't do anything about that. That's all on you. Probation, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. How far did you go in school?
I'm sorry.
How far did you go in school?
I graduated high school now.
All right, what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Hopefully owning a business one day.
All right, so what are you doing to make that happen?
Right now, I'm just waiting for my daughter to start pre-K, just so I don't have to stay at home and watch her anymore.
All right. CPS compliance. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And probation, please check on the 3-year-old and check the locks on the interior doors. There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once parenting classes are completed, 100 hours will be waived. The remaining 100 hours will be waived if you obtain some higher level of education or if you're in trade school. Probation, is there anything else? Yes, regular random UAs. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to go off the record. You need to start putting your child first. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I've been doing that ever since the day.
All right, because 3-year-old can't take care of themselves. 3-year-old is 100% dependent upon you. And do not bring random people in your child's life unless you've done a background check. This is what sometimes parents don't understand. You know this guy. She doesn't know him. You're bringing a complete stranger in your child's life. That needs to stop. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If you have any questions about anything, let probation know. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, everyone, we're recessing at 12.